Awesome, great, glorious day it is. This is the day the Lord has made, and indeed we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Umubanga podcast, where we aim to inform, transform, as well as inspire. Our guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is one of Zambia's, I think, creative sons. He's an amazing creative in his own right, a dope photographer. I know he's mainly known as the go-to events photographer, but I feel he can do many things, like many things in his sphere as an artist. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together even as I welcome Stephen K. Full name, Stephen Kakwenda. So
no, Stephen K is good. Stephen K sounds good.
Stephen K photography.
Even that, yes.
Welcome to the Umubanga podcast.
Cheers. Thanks, man. It's been a minute, and you guys are doing a good job.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Welcome. I know your conversation, it's long overdue. It was supposed to be done like a long
2 years ago?
No.
3?
Number podcast last year.
Last year. Okay, then last year.
Yeah, but I think I always do give a background on, I think the first time we met was at the Travis Green concert, Kusiela Resort.
No, that was I think the third time. Let me remind you. The first time we met was at Ephraim's crossover concert.
No. I've never attended an Ephraim.
You have.
Maybe it was another concert. Maybe the Agape Glory Encounter,
Maybe, but it was at what's that place called? New Government Complex.
Okay.
The big hall. And I remember you. I think you were not doing anything. You just came to attend, and you're like, you're mfana, unachoka good. Yeah, you're like, unachoka good mfana. I'm like, oh, my name is Stephen. By then I was actually in school. Mm-hmm. I was in my second year, if not third, doing clinical medicine, and like, yo mfana unachoka kuti wadabache wabwera che nimbia tabe Stephen K. That was the first time you and I met. Okay. Then we met at Ciela.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember very well the first time I met you. Like, yo mfana unachoka kuti. I'm like,
well,
but then before that, I knew you because when I was studying photography, I knew you through.
You're making me sound old. Don't.
No, cool. I knew you through what's her name? Zion.
Yeah, Zion.
Yeah. She used to share a lot of photos that you took, and then by then you used to do tutorials on YouTube. We used to have those tutorials, so I would literally watch your tutorials. I end up with my tutorials, but yeah, I used to watch your tutorials. That's the time I actually met you. That was the first time I actually saw you. But then I was wanting to meet you, and the time I met you, I didn't really know. Oh, this is Umubanga. Okay. Then okay. Because I mean, even knowing your name took me a long time. I think I actually even haven't saved your name on phone. It's Umubanga. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting journey. Look, most people know you as an events photographer, but then I want you to. Who is Stephen K in a nutshell? Like, how would you describe yourself?
Okay. Do I have to add the other part?
Yeah, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I am a pastor. Shocking, people don't know. I am a pastor at Gospel Levels Church, and I serve under Pastor Cholwe. And I am an artist manager. That's something people don't know. I am a clinical officer general trained, and I am also trained as a public health specialist. Okay. Basically, that's me. Besides my creative side, I am in the medical field. Yeah.
Awesome. So look, you studied the medical side of things, and then here you are. We all know you as this
Photographer.
creative guy, the
Creative.
photographer.
Yeah.
Walk us through the transition. Okay. What prompted you to go study medicine?
So I'm coming from a family of 5. When my father was growing up, he wanted to be a medical person. Okay, so get it clear. And he did not get to become a doctor, whatever he wanted to be. So his plan was to have one of his kids be a medical personnel. So he tried with the firstborn, it failed. He tried with the secondborn, thirdborn, I'm the fourthborn. And apparently I was that child that would listen to my father all the time. So basically me being in the medical field at first was dad's idea. But I loved in the long run, I loved clinical medicine. But getting to do clinical medicine was my father's idea. Oh, okay, cool. Let me try it out. It was hard. I remember during our first clinical rotations, I was asked to work on a patient that had there's what they call IND, incision and drainage, when you have an abscess. So I was asked to work on this man. Then I went to the treatment room. It's funny how I'm still remembering this thing. Then I made an incision. When I was draining, the pus was just so much that I had to pass out. Yeah. Then the next thing, I'm on the bed in the clinic officer's room, and they're like, "Oh, when's what faint?" I'm like, "You know what? Let me get my phone." Then I called my father. I was like, "I don't think I'm gonna manage. I'm sorry, XA. I won't manage." Then he came. And he literally encouraged me, "No, you know what? You can do it, shan. Yeah, but then it became part of me because I was there, so I had no option but just to
So
love
you
what
managed to finish the whole
Yes,
program.
I managed to finish the whole program, though I delayed by like 6 months.
So now you do that program, and then how do you find yourself transitioning to photography?
There was a time we had a family event in Makeni at my grandpa's house, and there was a camera. So before that, my dad used to get photos when he was a child and when he was in secondary school. So we had those analog cameras, the snap and give cameras. So we had one camera at home, and I could play with it and stuff like that. So we had this meeting, and there was nobody to get photos. So I get the camera, and I'm just getting photos at the family event. I'm like, this looks good. And everybody's, you're good. Oh, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, maybe let me try it. Then I go to school. So the first person that actually introduced me to cameras was, you should know, what's his name? BMAC?
Yes.
Yeah. Then the second person when I was in college is Michael Zulu. The same Michael Zulu, the musician.
I wanted to say ganja, but the activist Michael Zulu.
Yes, Michael Zulu. Where I was, he had a store.
Yes.
And he could get random photos, candid photos of students working and stuff like that. So I approached him. I'm like, you know what? I've got interest. He's like, oh, I can teach you. Then he began to teach me how to get photos. Then everybody was like, I think you're good. Then I started getting photos in campus, second year, if not first year, second semester. I started getting photos in school. And I remember I was charging 10 kwacha for 10 photos.
So 1 kwacha most.
1 kwacha most photo. Yeah. Then I became big in school.
Yeah.
Then I got a photo that the school had used for their billboard, but swananlipide. So I think ningabako manja hapa copyright. Swananlipide. I don't know how they even got that photo.
Yeah.
The next thing, I'm just seeing my photo. It's on the billboard. So muskulu nganipita mesa nizo kama chati ndine nakopa photo pa billboard. That's how the whole thing just started. Yeah.
Right. So you start that. How then did it then now transition into you doing it professionally and just How did we come to Stephen K?
Let me remember. Oh, so before I was Stephen K, I used to call myself Frims Fresh Art. There's a brother who before I started photography, I used to play a cornet, a trumpet. Back then. Salvation Army.
Okay.
So there's a trumpet.
When the boys brigade or Salvation Army.
So there's a Salvation Army. So there's a trumpet. Then I was in this band with a few of my friends. Chunks.
Yes.
And I were in the same band.
Okay.
Washikunzi.
Yes.
Pastor Washi.
Yes.
Were together. Pelile.
Yes.
Were together. We're the group called.
So Salvation Army in a reformed will go see me, right? Okay.
So Reformed came in later with the brass instruments and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they literally learned those things from Salvation Army. Most of them. Yeah. So yeah, and where was I?
You were talking about you being together with Pastor Washi.
Oh yes. So
yes.
because Frims was like the leader, and I liked the name, and I always used to found with him, and they could call me Junior. So I got the name Frims Fresh Art. Then next, I have this photography thing. I had a logo that was Frims Fresh Art. I had a good logo. Then one day, my sister's friend was getting married, and my sister told her, "Mfana wanga and mkali ukopa my photo." I was nervous. I was very scared. Civic Center. No light. Camera check. I in camera bandage. Then I charged her 700 kwacha for photo shoot, makeup, and everything. Literally everything. When they come together, so 700 kwacha.
In the big bucks.
Bad. Abo nikatfola nisenza ku school hapa nza katikana. Then I went na kopa. Then they were like, you know what? They look good. I'm like, I was like, maybe let me start. Let me start a business. Okay. Then I moved from Frims Fresh Art to, because growing up I've been daddy's boy, so I wanted to really keep my father's name. So I moved from Frims Fresh Art to Stephen Kakwende Media House. Then my brother Innocent told me, why can't you do it as Stephen K? Then I moved from Stephen K Media House to Stephen K Photography. That's basically how I started the whole photography thing.
Okay.
Till today.
Interesting. So here's, I think part of my little introduction to you before we actually met was seeing most of your work, you shooting for Gospel Envoys.
Oh yes. I am still part of the media team in church, and literally the church also played a very big role. Because I remember when I joined the ministry, this team that gets photos for pastor, then I joined, and at first I was a bit then with time I began to shoot photos frequently. And yes, shooting every Sunday also shaped my my creative side. And I realized, okay, this is something that I like. That was after, when I joined the ministry, actually I was doing sound with God's General. I was doing sound with God's General. Then I moved to photography.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So look, here you are, transitioning from all these spaces, but I want to come back because you finished your degree as a clinical officer.
No, the clinical medicine was a diploma, then public health is a degree.
Okay. You did that medicine aspect, and because I'm thinking through now, and your father is still here, and you're not practicing the medicine. How was that conversation like? Because I know most of us growing up, I as well faced a similar challenge when I told my parents to say, hey, I dropped out of accounting 1 year ago to pursue this thing called photography. But then for me, I told them at the place when I was successful in the business. So, but then you telling him to say, hey,
I want to go this direction.
Mfuna ngala cameraman kasi pisha bantu kuma hotel.
Mulibendera mama photo.
So how was that conversation with your father?
So firstly, when I told him, so when we had an agreement, he told me, because what happened is when I started doing photography in college, I could miss classes. Wanted to go and shoot. At times I would go with, I would be with Michael Zoo shooting, and I would miss classes. So we had an agreement. He said, if you graduate, if you pass, I'll buy a camera. Yeah, of course, African parents will buy you the camera. So So I graduated.
It was the thought which comes.
Exactly. So I graduated.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm done now. The camera. Then he says, maybe why can't you practice a little bit? And so back then, the system was before you get into full-time employment, you have to be a volunteer. So I had to volunteer at a hospital. That was Chawama Hospital. And I remember they used to call me, what's the name? QID. So QID is, it's in medicine, when they say you're going to take the drug QID, they mean you take it 4 times a day. So I could be found in the morning shift, in the afternoon shift, in the night shift, and in the morning shift the following day, and go home to freshen up in the afternoon. That's how much I loved the hospital. But then I realized with time that I was growing up, and I was a volunteer, and I was literally broke. And I was like, I think I need to make money through my talent. So I went to him. I'm like, I want to try the whole photography thing so the camera I had at first got stolen in campus. Yeah, that's a whole different story. Nafuenda kunganga sakira camera. Anagura panet with another camera. Yeah, then I told him I want to do this thing, and he's like, Olibena camera. I was like, you know what, I will try. And so what I used to do is I used to go with BMAC. So I used to assist BMAC. By then BMAC used to do a lot of videos. So I started with video first, actually, with BMAC. So I could assist him and stuff like that.
What's a notable video which you shot with him?
With BMAC?
Yeah. I know BMAC was like
back then, yeah?
He was like the director law for gospel artists.
Yes. You know, what's his name? Pastor Morris?
Yeah, Pastor Morris Museni.
There's a song called Puteni. Those videos. I even have photos of me being. And I remember there was a time I ran away from home, went to Mazabuka with BMAC without telling my parents, but I told them I've gone to the market, I'll be back. Then Mazabuka manjoko wafipa. Erot fungoenda kwa nyumba manji na wauza ati ni ndako market. Then mom started calling me, where are you? I'm like, nibwera. Not until I told them, I'm like, you know what, I'm in Mazabuka. That's how it was rough for me to get into photography. So I told Dad, I'm like, I want to do this whole photography thing. He's like, you don't have any cameras. What's going to be the plan? I was like, I'm going to be hanging out with BMAC. And it wasn't easy. Yeah. If I can say the time my dad agreed, I fully agreed that this is okay, is 2 years ago, if not 3, when I could pay for myself in university. From photography, I took myself back to school to do public health. But before that, I don't think there's money in this photography thing. And of course, I mean, you know, we are just starting wedding in one pin, Shani. He later said, I don't think there's money. But I later just said, this is what I want to do. And to show I was serious, I stopped going to hospital. Started hanging out with BMAC. And you know, where you go out of the house, come back in the evening without money. That's how hard it was. Yeah. And I just told him, I want to do this whole thing. And that's how, it wasn't easy, but with time, he agreed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that whole trajectory, you working, now then, at what point then did you feel like, okay, you know what, this is battery ya gulisi wa manji ya makrimoni?
What was that? When I met, there's a lady called, my whole journey is with people. Yeah, there's a lady called...
We're never self-made, really.
True, yeah. Pambewe.
Yes.
I used to do photography for a certain company in town. I was a photographer. What else was I doing there? Social media marketing. So I met Liapa and I approached her. I'm like, you know what? I can be getting photos of you. Then you help me push the brand. So literally, Liapa literally pushed me into the space I'm in right now.
Yep.
She literally introduced me to most of the key people that I know today. And to date, literally, I am grateful to Liapa because she helped me get to know most of these people that I know today that pushed me to know the other, get in the other space. So I think when was that? I can't really remember the year, but when I started working with Liapa, I was like, I think this is it.
That have been what, 2021?
I think 2021, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there, 2021. I was like, I think this is it where I could, what was the first? Oh, she told me, you know what, Stephen, you're good, so start charging.
Yeah.
Hapo nishina quotation, sinizi yote nikupanga punch. Make a quotation. Oh, okay. Then I made a quotation. Then she said, oh, okay, you're supposed to do this, do this, do this. Also put this price. I was like, oh, okay. Then the first time I did the Wow Women event,
Yes.
and everybody was like, Stephen K. I was like, oh, okay.
Was it the picnic one?
No.
The first wow.
It was the one in, what's the place called? In Ibexi?
Casual place.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was that event? Where they had Missing Amelia was their guest of.
I can't remember because when happened on my events video.
Yeah, but that was after. That was before the picnic. Yeah, that was before the picnic. I can't remember the theme of that, but it was actually it was before the one they did with Hood's Kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah, so a year before that one.
Okay. And finding yourself in that space, how then did you beat the imposter syndrome? Where
I still have it.
you know, like sometimes you find yourself in spaces and you're doing certain things and then you doubt yourself. You doubt your capabilities. Like, I don't know if you get this sometimes. You go to a place, you're shooting, and then you feel like you're just shooting useless stuff. Like Sif Panga says. But then when you go back, you see it, you're just like, yo, these are dope. Like,
I think imposter syndrome is important in a creative. The moment you lose that, I think you get too comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't be confident, but then the aspect of being nervous, it's same with artists before going on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, I work with let me say Chunks.
Yes.
Before he gets on stage, like no matter Chunks is good, but he is never familiar with the stage.
Yep.
Literally before he's on stage, there's that moment where he needs to catch a breath and stuff. So I think it's important. Let me just mention that it's important to have imposter syndrome, but not to let it take over you. There are times where I got to a place, and especially when I'm doing work that is beyond what I am known for.
Yeah.
Like I'm called to shoot something else. Maybe let's say a wedding with a friend. It's lights, guys on the stage and the artist is singing, and for me, they are cool, but I'm called to shoot a wedding there. When I'm shooting, I usually have that, but one thing I've mastered is I've taught myself shoot, go and check on the photos later on. Like just shoot as much as you can. Just shoot. I learned that through Peter. Like I'm gonna shoot a lot of stuff, and when I'm checking what work I did, definitely 2, 3, 4, 5 will be good. So yeah, that's how I move around that.
Interesting. Now, moving forward, you mentioned that Liapa helped you, linked you up with different people. I know our industry isn't favorable. You meet great people, you meet bad people.
You meet selfish people.
you have a whole blend. It's a full meal of everything. But help me, how did you navigate some of your clients? I know there are people who still owe you till date. What you've done for them. I know there are some who, you are now their enemy because they failed to pay. Or now the fact that hapa hakula mtu chifukwa akopa my events ya zone.
Yeah.
So how were you able, and how have you been able to find sieve to say, okay, is this a correct client right now? Should I drop them off? Yeah.
Okay, so I think most of my clients is what has worked for me is before the business, I have a personal relationship with most of the clients. Literally, most of them, whether it be corporate, commercial, most of my clients, I have that personal relationship. Whether we're not doing work, I'm in touch with most of my clients. I've had issues where you start off okay, and along the way, things just mostly it's money. Actually, mostly it's money. What I do is we are friends. We are brothers and sisters. Before the business. So if the business has failed, let's continue the friendship.
Yep.
Because I mean, away from business, I'm gonna need you. You're gonna need me. So if it fails for me, I just let go. But I make it plain and clear that the fact that business has failed doesn't mean we can't be friends. And a lot of them actually have come back after failed business because I maintained friendship with them. They get to come back to do business again. So I'm just clear from the beginning. The business has failed. We are friends. This is us.
Yeah.
I mean, if we won't be talking every day, but at least I can check up on you, you can check up on me. Business, we can leave it aside. At the end of the day, we all need each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we talk about your creative side of things, your thought process around you shooting, but I want you to come back. What's one thing which, when you look back, like what's one of those experiences which you're just like, never again, I don't want to experience such?
Let's see. There are a lot. There are a lot. There are a lot. There are a lot. Business-wise, there was a time I literally got into a fight with a client. And I think the issue was with me, not that I was wrong, but I saw it coming. You know where you meet a client and they are just tough from the beginning with that tight budget. And then you know what somebody say, they have less, but they demand for so much.
Yeah.
And you've got that privilege to say, thank you for being in touch, but I don't think I can work with the budget. So I literally got into a fight with a client. I may not mention names right now. That's like way back, yeah. Like literally got into a fight with a client. I'm not gonna mention names. But yeah, like, ish. But it's not like the past 2 or 3 years, just in case one of them. It's not the past 3 years. It's like some time back when I was actually starting.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
Such a moment, I wouldn't want to get back. Yeah. And I think being in a place where you lose data for a client who's paid.
Yeah.
That place is bad.
In your course, I think for me, that's the issues of like contracts come in.
True.
If in case anything gets lost again, just in case these acts of God happen and but coming back to right now, I think if an event isn't shot by Stephen Gray, then something is missing. And you see, like I would even state this because we've collaborated on different forums.
Yes.
Over time, I've learned to celebrate grace.
Oh yeah.
Like if, for example, I'm shooting and you are there, I even get relaxed. Bro. Like I'm just like, why did I stress myself? Like he's here. Like because your level of shooting, your level of detail. Sometimes when we were at the same event and then I'm looking at your pictures and I'm just like, so in a Western zone, my friends here, so like,
I know, yeah.
Yeah, like what's your thought process? Like, okay, how did you find yourself shooting events? Let's start from there. Like, what inspired you to start shooting events, especially musical events? capturing them in an artistic sense.
Oh yeah, I have a cousin. His name is Mo Kawata.
Okay.
KBP.
Yeah.
Back then he used to shoot most of these concerts, and so I would meet him. The first place I met him was Sinachi's concert.
Kuhiro Stadium.
Kuhiro Stadium. I managed. That's the first time I shot a concert, and so when I met him, he asked me, "Let me look at your camera." Then I showed him. Oh, okay, you're not supposed to shoot like this. Then I looked at his camera. I was like, "But same light."
Nikon.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think not Nikon. Yeah, because Lavamo has been using Nikon from way back. And he shows me something. Oh, okay, supposed to do something. Oh, okay. Then I was like, I think this whole concert thing was good.
Yeah.
Fast forward 2017, Chunks had his first concert. Not concert really. First event at there's a place called not the Mist, sorry. What's the name of that place at Lewanika?
At Levy Junction, the Misty.
No. Sorry, not at Lewanika. At Lewanika. What's the name of that place again? Those are not.
No, it's in the Sky Bar.
Kuside Kuli
Stadium.
Yes. That's the place. At Chanzina. I forgot the name.
I've forgotten the
name. So Chunks was performing there. And I go there. I am getting photos and video, and then the owner of the place likes the photos.
Yeah.
Like literally likes the photos, and Chunks like, these photos really look good. And he tells me, I think your area is concerts.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I think so. From that time, I picked it up. But coming to your question, how I found myself to be getting photos. Can I answer how?
Yeah.
How? Yeah. So mostly for me, firstly, I love concerts. I love musical events. Like I love musical events because I think when I'm shooting such stuff, the rule there is that there are no rules.
Yeah.
You can find the light anywhere. So I remember Chunks telling me, don't tell people a secret. But mostly when I'm shooting a concert, it doesn't start from where I'm shooting. It starts way before.
Yeah.
It starts with the guy doing the lights for me. Literally before they set up, I ask what do they call them? Stage sets.
Yeah.
Set up for any artist. And he's going to advise. And from there, before I get photos of an artist, once he tells me the kind of setup he's done for each artist, I know the kind of photos I'm going to get. When they're setting up, most of these concerts I have shot, I am there, unless we have an issue with money. But most of them, I am there. When they're setting up, I'm going to advise how the lights should be. I'm going to advise how he should do his color combination. There's a word these guys use. I'm trying to remember the word.
Yeah.
Is it set design? I think it's set design. Yeah. I'm going to advise and we're going to work together. When the event is running, for me, I never participate like every other person attending. The reason is simple. You never know when the moment is the moment. You never know when the high moment is going to happen. So what do I do? Firstly, I'm going to give an example. When Travis Green came to Zambia and I was asked to shoot that concert, Travis Green has been my all-time favorite artist. So when I was asked to shoot that concert, for me, it was like a dream come true. I was very excited. I literally watched Travis Green's concert on stage, how he behaves, how he starts, how he ends, what he does in the middle of his ministrations, his band, the energy. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to try and connect with the energy.
Yeah.
So when I'm shooting at an event, before I get to the place, I already know how the artist behaves on stage. Literally. I know how Chile Shawala behaves on stage. I know how Esther Chungu behaves on stage. I know how Pompe behaves on stage. I know how, who else? Deborah Mambo behaves on stage. I know how James Sakara. I know, yeah. I know how most of them. I know how most of them behave on stage. So I know at what point. I'm gonna give you an example. If you check through James Sakala's socials, there are certain shots that do not miss simply because I know at what point James is gonna bend with his guitar up, and I'm gonna capture that. Trust me, if I don't shoot that, I feel like
You missed something.
I miss something. Same with chunks. So when everybody's dancing, and that's where I think I get to be a little bit different is with the other photographers. I see photographers, and I think maybe let me just even advise photographers. When you're shooting a concert, your job is not to sing like everybody else. You are a creative. What's going to remain after the event are the photos and the video. So if you're going to be shooting at an event and then 3/4 of the time you are singing, your camera is down, you are vibing, you're getting videos, you're definitely going to miss it.
Yep.
And for me, when I'm shooting mostly, I am literally concentrating every moment. Like I said, you're better off shooting a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And then later on when editing, check what you have. Yep. So for me, I'm always paying attention, literally paying attention. And this is how I don't get to miss shots. Okay. Most of the times. It's just that when I'm shooting, I'm just shooting. Each and everything that happens on stage, I am literally shooting. I think that's what the rest, honestly.
Interesting. You see, me, if I see you there, we are vibing, we're enjoying the concert. Like, why should I? Aliko Steven, Nizangala second shooter. Yeah. So, what's been like your favorite concert which you've shot?
In terms
of
the outcome?
Outcome, yes. Even just light design, set design, all these, like everything was just like everything just played together so well that it made your life so easy and shooting became fun.
Harvest of Praise. That was organized by the Harvest group of companies where they had Travis Green, Phil Thompson, that whole bunch of Frank Edwards. Who else was there? Tim Godfrey. Mweze mumdima boss.
Yeah. Steven movie konda so like Steven kope ko picture uyo azunguruka. It's like wamuza uende na patari na.
Mweze mumdima boss. Kayo kumuzi akoja kwa kumanga ndo kumanga black. Mweze mumdima. Harvest of Praise was and still is my favorite. The outcome there, I got response from Nigeria, from a few photographers from Nigeria that tagged me. There's a photo I got of Travis Green. The set design that Mark from Ben Blizzard did was very good. So Harvest of Praise still remains to be the best for me.
Interesting. And I
you may
not sit and tell by 06 hours.
No, it was I think past midnight because the artists were a lot.
Yes, I know. I left.
I was Ninarema. Yeah, I think maybe like 2 or 3, 02 somewhere there.
Because I think Frank Edwards ministered like after midnight.
I was tired. The photos are edited were over, like edited photos were over 800.
Now, actually, coming to that, the Harvest of Praise event was so big that it was the side hall.
Yeah, and the auditorium and
outside
the banquet hall. Yes,
it was the banquet hall, the main auditorium, and then there were others who were fixed outside. Now, you as a creative, how did you find the best team to collaborate and work with? Actually, let's start from there. Like in terms of collaboration, how do you pick?
It's simple for me. Somebody who's got almost the same energy like me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't have to be good as me. I don't have to be good as you. Let's just have the same energy. Mm-hmm. If we're in a place, we've got the same energy, we would definitely work together. So for me, it's just the energy. And energy goes down to passion, the love you're putting in, the effort you're putting in. It's just energy for me. I know we're not the same how we should. We understand light differently. Yeah. But the energy, we can at least match on energy. Okay. It's just energy for me. It's just energy. I have nothing else. I can't really say. It's just the energy for me.
So there are people who follow you and you greatly inspire them. You greatly inspire us, not them. You greatly inspire us. But look, let me actually even state this. I, for one, I was actually telling Joshua earlier that live by this quote, which says that true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. What that simply means
That's
for
powerful.
me is that when you see somebody doing something great, for example, I teach photography. I do all these.
I learned photography from you.
You get it, but the idea isn't that I am the only source, the alpha and omega of wisdom, and I am the best. No, I should be able to say, okay, these guys are giving me the run for my money. If I don't pull up my socks, I'll lag behind. What are some of your routines really to develop your eye, to sharpen your skill? What are some of the routines? I know Chang said no sharing secrets, but what are some of the routines which you live by, which greatly help in terms of doing stuff?
I'm going to sound very controversial. Honestly, I'm going to sound very controversial.
Yeah.
Most creatives right now may say what I'm saying is true. But I remember telling a friend that for me, photography is something that's within me. I honestly don't do much.
Okay.
I'm actually very, very, very playful. Honestly, I'm very playful. But to help somebody out there, when I was starting photography, I had a routine of shooting the sunrise, shooting the sunset, shooting anything I see. Apart from shooting, because there's the part of shooting and there's a part of post-production. You literally have to be good in both. You may be good in shooting and not good in post-production. At that point, maybe you can engage someone to do post-production, but as a creative, you have to be good in both. Shoot. If it means shooting 3 times a day, like shoot. I tell the guys at church that you won't expect to be good if you are just shooting on Sunday. Even if you don't have a camera, you can Google. Which camera is running?
All of them are running. Just
Which one? This one. Okay. But you're not there. It's zoomed. Yeah, I usually tell the guys at church that when you can't expect to be good if you are not frequently shooting. So I advise them to at least, even in a day, just shoot. Just get the camera. If you don't have a camera, just read something about photography, read something about the triangle, understand more about exposure, get to understand what ISO is, f-stop, shutter, how those things work, how to shoot in low light, how to shoot when you're outdoor. Just do something to add to your skill. If you're gonna really ask me what I usually do, honestly, I'm too playful, guys. But yeah, when I was starting, I could shoot in the morning, shoot in the afternoon, shoot in the evening. I could literally just shoot every day. Shoot morning, shoot tubana sobeda nakopako tuma. I did a series I called a walk through my wood. And I could literally shoot drunk people, shoot chickens, shoot kids playing, the buses, go at the market, and just literally shoot. I remember there was a time DOD found me on the ground. Wada. Then he parked his car. He was just watching me. There's a couple of mizimai there's a gulisa to maunga na makambisa. And he just parked. Why? What's that? You know what? I'm just getting photos. Oh, okay, cool. So literally for me, I think the routine, I can't really point out which one is which, but just shoot. The more you shoot, better you can become, especially if you've got your own gear. The more you use your gear, the more you become confident with your own gear.
True.
True.
Okay, interesting. You said earlier when we were talking, you're like, oh no, I have some questions for you. I'm like, hey, you're a friend of the show, so
Yeah. Okay. Cool. It's gonna be really good. The one asking questions. Maybe something that honestly I've wanted to get to find out is, we have creatives that are really good,
Yep.
but they're not making the money. Maybe they've been shooting for years,
Yeah.
very good, but then I don't know if they're afraid, they're quite afraid to start on their own journey. I don't know how you started, but at what point did you maybe let me say this, how can they navigate from being, what do they call them again? A second shooter, not really a second shooter, but being subcontracted always to running their own thing where they can be called and have work attached to their name.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm now more relaxed because I'm the one asking questions. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just run through my background a little bit. So when I started photography, I used to work for HPG Photography.
Oh.
So when HPG Photography closed, 2017, and then I think I had like 6 months, I wasn't doing anything. And I remember I'd receive calls like, oh, come and work with us, come and work with us. And then I'd be like, oh, how much will you be paying me? No, okay. I'm just like, if I calculate back at the studio how much it would make, it would be like this. So I took a step of faith. Okay. So that's where the aspect of dropping out of university came in. Where I was like, okay, you know what? Let me concentrate so much on the business. So it was a great step of faith where I said, okay, I will take some time to concentrate on this. I think I'm one person who, if you tell me that you can't do it, I'll do it. And I'll do it better and then come back to say I did it. I get it. So that's what I did. People came to know we can partner 50-50. I'll buy you the equipment, but then you have to be paying me. I'm even calculating in my head because I exposed myself to a lot of business talks. I watched a lot of Shark Tanks, Dragon Den and stuff like that. So if somebody's pitching to me about numbers and percentages in the business, I already knew what they were talking about. And I was like, no. But one thing I had was that I had this experience working for, so HPG Photography was like a premium photography studio. I think back then we were charging like 500 kwacha for 10 pictures. And back then your 500 kwacha was like Ikulu, right? So I'm like, okay, what do I do? So what I did is that I got the whole formula of HPG Photography in terms of price point, in terms of how to handle clients. I got it. I was like, look, the business has closed, moved on to another form of business. Let me now drive this. So I got the blessing from my mentor. And what he did was that he as well made sure that he put in a good word to some of the old clients. Okay. So that's how I transitioned into my own being. So at first I'd call it Dennis Umubanga. That was the watermark. I think the Umubanga name just came up because I was listening to a King's Malembe song. So yeah, so but then Umubanga is my name as well. So but King's sang it in a song. I was like, oh great. Next day I went to Pakra, registered it and so now coming in to say, how does one transition from being a subcontracted shooter to being somebody who is
with works attached to their own,
with works attached to themselves? Number one, you have to take the step of faith. Number two, you have to really risk it all. I think for me, I just risked it all because number one, I'm getting this price point. I remember the first month I even hosted a workshop at Unza.
Okay.
I think
how many
photographers came through? Over 20 actually.
Wanna grace, guys.
I actually have a picture and pretty much all of them are successful in their own right in their photography spaces. Others are working for NGOs, others are working, like they're all successful. And the other day I was looking at the pictures. I'm like, oh wow, like God is good. Like, looking back. So I conducted that workshop. Number one, the reasons I did that is that I wanted to cement myself as not just this small player in the industry, but then this person who's got vast knowledge and this person
yes, you
who's
do actually have a
well
lot of
positioned.
knowledge. Yeah.
So for me, perception is everything. So you might find me at an event. I can be the second shooter, but it will feel like I'm the first shoot because I'm in charge.
You're in charge.
Like overall, I think these are things where I feel it. See pride.
See pride.
Ni confidence.
Ni confidence, yeah.
Like this great level of confidence that I can do this and I can be able to achieve this. So I held that workshop to just cement myself. So all the photographers who came, what they started doing was that they started to advertise on my behalf. So if they're having conversations with people to say, oh, do you know Umubanga? Oh, his price is what? They're like, no, Umubanga is a great photographer. Like his work is quality. So that's how we started building the name, the brand to go up. So even that shadow of being from HPG photography was like quickly erased.
Great.
So it was now me standing alone doing my work. So for anyone who wants to transition from that space, really be ready to risk it all and be ready to go through the tough days.
Tough days, yeah.
I know we all have this thing of, yes, when I get into business, it will be successful, but photography can be mentally draining, depressing. There are days, I remember I would go months on months, no business.
Yeah.
And it gets dry. The next thing you are thinking of being subcontracted. Unfortunately, I've never actually done the whole subcontracting thing.
Oh.
Like, truth be told, like I'm the one who, I call it collaboration. So here's what I do personally, right? I'll come to you and ask you to say, Steven, how much do you charge? And Steven, you'll be like, oh, in order for me to cover this concert, I charge 10,000. It's like, okay, you charge 10,000.
10 pin, 10 pin.
So you charge 10,000, right? But then me, who's ready to risk it all, I'll be like, oh, client A, I know your capabilities. I know you deliver on the job. So client A, sorry, I'm putting out secrets now. I'll go tell client A that, hey guys, I charge 30,000 to cover this. So me, I will not even ask for a discount from you. And this is how greatly I respect artists, right? I will not ask for a discount from you to say, oh, no, I'll pay you what you feel you're worth and I'll get my part. We've collaborated. I didn't steal from you. So I have this value, the risk which I put on myself to say I am worth 50,000 for this job. You said you're worth 10,000. I'll give you, the 40K is mine. That's how so I call it collaboration. So I collaborate with people.
Okay.
So that's what I do most of the time. So.
That's actually good. I think that's what most event organizers do. You give them your value and they add a markup.
That's what agencies do all the time. So.
Yeah. But talking about respecting the artists, your artistic value, the industry.
Yep.
Let's bring it down to the gospel industry.
Our friends who that's big time.
Exactly. Yeah. And honestly, I think photography is as important as any other
form of media, really.
Any other form of media, any other art. Videography is important. Yep. Graphic designing is important. They all add to one thing.
Yep.
And so when you spoke about 10 pin, I remember you know what's funny? I failed to understand how how can I put it? If you're gonna come to me, I'm gonna shoot your first concert at 5,000. You're starting, cool. I'm okay with that. You're gonna bring one artist. Okay, I'll shoot for 5 pin. We're collaborating, like everybody says it. We're collaborating. We're starting, fine. You're gonna do your next concert. Okay, I'm gonna increase. Third concert, you're bringing on board sponsors. Yep. Fifth concert, say
you've pretty much established.
Exactly, you have big artists that are coming in. and you expect a creative, and this happens. Like, you're gonna expect, you are doing an event and you're expecting, you are growing, and as you are growing, the money you're making from event is growing. You do not expect a creative to charge you the same amount they charge you at first. There's nothing wrong with a creative charging you a 10,000. They are not stealing from you. Firstly, you can't do what they are doing. Secondly, gear is expensive. Thirdly, the cost of running business is expensive. Here in Zambia, the economy isn't doing as good as it should be.
You know that $500 is now what, 12,000? No,
Yeah.
13,000 or something.
Somewhere there.
So sometimes when I'm charging, I gauge it to say, how much is it in dollar? Because sometimes I just want to ask myself to say, okay, if I do this event, what kind of basic equipment can it get me? Now, coming to your point of where people want to charge you what you were charging last year, is people don't understand that the value changes each and every year.
Yeah.
So I'll say this. If you go to our WhatsApp catalog, you'll be able to find our pricing. But then for me, like, each and every year I get to increase the pricing.
Which is very normal.
And remember the faith and risk aspect. I think for me, over time now, I've learned that I have nothing to lose. At the end of the day,
True.
Look, I am not fighting against the flesh. Like, for me, my power comes from, I have the grace factor on me. I'm a child of God. So if I struggle, I still go back to God and say, God, hey, why am I struggling?
Yes.
He'll make a way. So what I do is that I increase prices. And I am not scared to drop off big clients. You can be the biggest client ever in Zambia, but if you're not really respecting the craft, the artistry, and not willing to pay what I'm worth, like, I'll drop you off, because it means that two cannot work together unless they agree. So there's massive exploitation. So majority of our event organizers will come to you and say, oh, hey, we only have a 5,000 on a budget. Boss, I've sat in these meetings many, many times, and I know
exactly. I know how much money is there. And they always come to you and say, oh, there's not so much money.
But
with a tight budget, there's no money coming out of this. And literally every time, collaborating doesn't mean I should be cheap.
Yeah.
If you have the money, pay them. It's just not only photographers. Even artists.
Like, I think we need to get to a place, especially our Christian brothers, where we learn to support one another.
Our brothers and sisters.
I know a lot of Christian photographers who shoot amazing stuff. And sometimes when I see their works at certain events, I'm just like, boss, I know mnakopera che exposure.
True.
Actually, mnakopera che kungena ku concert.
Exactly. And speaking of exposure, there are some creatives that are, I would say, killing the business.
Yeah.
It's business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you're a creative and you are willing year in and year out to shoot for exposure, you shoot for marketing and a network, definitely these event organizers are going to come to you. Because till now, your own equipment, you want to shoot for free. There are creatives right now, there are photographers right now, videographers that are willing to shoot for free.
So
and it's literally killing the business. Yeah. So you find that when you're going to tell the event organizer, whoever that event organizer, whether gospel or non-gospel, and I'm not literally attacking any event organizer, but this is what's happening. If they're gonna come to you, they know you are good, and definitely they're gonna come to you. They know you are good. For example, concept photography, they know you're good. I was about to say they know I'm good. They're gonna come to me, and then because you have A, B, C, D artists. I'm gonna justify why I'm charging you that much. Okay, you want me to shoot from the airport? You want me to shoot the meet and greet? Bro, they're gonna charge meet and greet $2,000. 3K, 1.5.
Just 3 people would have paid whatever they
exactly.
want.
5 people would have paid me if you're gonna charge my two pin for meet and greet. 5 people would have paid me if for example, I wanted 10K. You're gonna charge meet and greet, and then you want me to shoot the whole concert. That's like shooting from the beginning, kuja kwa mambira open in prayer to the end. And you know how concerts are, most events.
They don't even keep time. Boss.
Exactly. And after shooting, they need you to deliver because they have a limited time space.
Yes.
Once you delay, they're not like weddings where you need enough time.
Yeah.
Photos are going to be there for events. When you delay, it's like people move on in Zambia.
Yeah, true.
They're going to move on to the next event.
Yeah.
They will be waiting for the next photos for the next. So you have to edit in good time.
Yeah.
And so somebody will be willing to shoot for literally free.
Like there's that. Like somebody, oh no, I'm a big Travis Green fan. Oh yo,
Mahala.
But for me, these are things which I stopped. I think so. I had stopped actually concert photography.
I have actually never shot a concert for free. Like let me put on record.
So there was a time. I think Fally Ipupa came to Zambia 2018.
Oh, and it's coming again, huh?
Yeah, he's coming again this year. Free advertising. Anyway,
Maybe because James is part of the.
So the point is, 2018 I'm shooting, and I think I arrived at the venue like at 13.
13 hours?
Yeah, 13. And Fally Ipupa was on stage at 01. And he was finishing on stage at 03:30 or so. That's when he was being done. And at 7 hours, I'm supposed to be in church. Right? So I was like, from that day, I was like, no, never again. That's when I actually stopped shooting
like
secular concerts.
15 plus hours of shooting.
I stopped shooting secular concerts because over time I had to go cleanse myself and wash myself in the blood of Jesus because what I saw was... So I stopped.
See why I shoot with my eyes closed. Huh?
So I stopped shooting secular events and then just started dealing with the Christians. But then with the Christian, it was more of, number one, they want to pay on time. They want to keep their word. They want... So there's this massive exploitation where if you're doing the work, you're not
happy.
You're not happy doing that. So, yeah.
I think people think photography and videography is the least thing on their budget.
No, actually, we're not even respected many times.
Not at all, actually. You have to remind them that actually, like they think, I don't know how they see photographers, but trust me, if it's not the musical people, then it's the photographers.
Yeah.
Talk about expensive gear, equipment, it's either musical or photography and videography.
But sometimes we show up in concerts, you're like, camera yanga ini na ni budget yonsi ya concert.
Exactly. Video, guys. Like, things are expensive. Check out the latest cameras that are coming. Things are expensive, but we're never respected at all.
Yeah.
I wonder how it's like that. And what's funny is, it's not the secular people. It's the gospel people.
But truth be told, it still comes back to us. We did this
to ourselves, yeah?
For ourselves. We cheapened ourselves. We
Mahala.
showed up. Like, no. I always laugh. Right now, I always tell people, say, if somebody ever were to come and emotionally blackmail me, I'll even go sleep peacefully. Like,
please.
No, numbers in China, I'll sleep peacefully.
Sleep. Like creatives, if they're not paying you, you're not happy. Just sleep.
Just sleep.
Just sleep. Like,
however,
your camera.
There should be a disclaimer. Ngati wazipasa, kutufuna ndo chita for free. Do it. But if you feel hard done, don't do it. If you are going to have a double mind where you are not happy to be in that space, don't do it. But if you've decided to partner with the event promoter and maybe they are putting your logo on their stuff.
Also, I'm going to say, if you choose to do it, don't do it forever. Like, 3 years, 4 years, you're just giving yourself.
So what I have done now is that majority of the people can't pay the full price which I charge. Mm-hmm. So then what I do is concerts sometimes I had to press specific buttons in order for them to do certain things.
Yes.
So what I have done is that because Umubanga isn't just photography, video, live stream, and it's many things. It's even this podcast.
Yes.
So what I've done is that to create a proper ecosystem and not be hard done. So if I tell you to say your event costs 50,000 to do, but then you tell me so you can't manage, you probably maybe have like a 30. It's like, okay, ni passe any 30, we'll give you the products, but whatsoever you do in terms of placement, wherever you go, the
Umubanga.
brand visibility has
Brand
to be there.
visibility. True.
So for me, like I play on that where I make sure that it's properly, and it's a win-win.
It's a win-win, true. Not you. You know, I've had clients where they don't pay much, and then people are gonna feel like I'm attacking them.
And then they demand heaven on earth.
Then they don't say. Then you add your logo or watermark, and they say no.
It's
not. Put our sponsor's logo or put our logo or cut off. And others have got the guts to cut off. Like, you are not paying much. The best you can do, if truly this is a collaboration and we are Christians and we're trying to, because I mean the gospel industry, truth be told, it's still growing.
It's
We are literally a small community. If we're gonna talk of Zambia, we are literally a small community.
Because look, truth be told right now, is if you look at all the big events, you pretty much find the same people. The company name, which is maybe, we'll say for example, they might hire Umubanga, but then because Umubanga is not an island, Umubanga will come with Stephen K.
True.
You get it?
We're literally the same people.
So we're literally the same people working. Like, if I note, say, in the gospel music space, who's shooting a music video, who's producing songs, who's covering events, who's like, it's well known. You can even cartel it. Maybe we should do that so that
I think so.
Is stuck.
I think so.
So that everybody's stuck and like, oh, now they'll start training their media people, and then before they know it, it's like, hey,
now they,
rebellious.
Yeah.
Vaenda manja, patavapanga, vaenda manja.
Exactly. That's what they say, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, so
True.
it's we're growing, and I think we'll get there. But one thing I would say is that, and I loved it, where sometimes on your status you'd put up to say open for international bookings. Vikavuta Zambia, let's just
I'm gonna go with Kavuta. I'm open for.
let's just shoot.
Yeah.
And the beauty of social media now is that it opens us up to international collaboration.
True.
So it's just a matter of getting all the paperwork ready. Everything in check. And before you know it, you're playing in the international fields.
That's true.
Now, Zambogambati.
Niwatu is like, oh.
Niwatu. We always believed in you, but
Niwatu
you're
is,
not willing to pay for it. Yeah, so Stephen, I know we've ended up with rants, and I know
I hope it's not gonna bring. I hope it's not gonna bring problems to Umubanga podcast, or I hope nobody's gonna count.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
I don't think so. But the idea is for you to be provoked, for you to change your heart, change your ways.
True. And then we're gonna grow the industry together.
And just learn that this work which we're doing, at the end of the day, I tell this to people, that whatsoever we do, me being on the camera, me taking pictures, me live streaming your event, us being on this podcast, is all about ministering God's word. We are all members of the same body, but we've got different functions and all.
True.
And each body part should be healthy, should be growing,
True.
and should be happy.
We're all winning souls.
Yeah.
Getting photos. I mean, photos will minister to somebody. I saw a post on Instagram where they shared photos of a videographer, photographer, sound engineer, Asha, where they were saying this too is ministry. This too is ministry. Ministry is just not only the one who's on the pulpit, the one getting the photos, the one looking after the kids is ministry. The one guarding the cars, it's ministry. The one taking videos, that's ministry. The one doing the graphics, that's ministry. We are a body. At the end of the day, honestly, what we want is that the gospel is heard.
Sungankala international events promoter ulibema pictures.
It's impossible.
Well, Stephen,
it's impossible.
Let's cut. So, ladies and gentlemen, from me and Stephen K, you have a YouTube channel. What is it called? Stephen K Photography. Yeah, so please make sure you subscribe, follow him, and make sure you follow him on Facebook, Behance, everywhere, Instagram, TikTok. Like, just follow him and see the amazing work he's doing. And yeah. So from me, Dennis Umubanga and Stephen K, we say bye-bye. Cheers. Take a picture.